Shortly after Utah gained its statehood in 1897, Martha Hughes Cannon was elected as the first female state senator, not just the Utah legislature, but the first in the nation. Her political career started in 1888 when she continued her Salt Lake medical program through mentoring aspiring female nurses. Motivated by this work, Cannon became a prominent activist for the woman's right to vote. She and many other women in Utah advocated around the country for universal women's suffrage. Utah first enfranchised women in 1870, 50 years before the 19th Amendment gave all American women the right to vote. Cannon will be remembered as a Utah women's rights advocate and the first female state senator, a significant trailblazer for women's rights and increased diversity. Despite her triumph, representation has plateaued since her time. In fact, since then, roughly 1,300 members have been elected to the Utah State Senate. Only 31 of those senators have been women. In February 2019, in a tweet, Senator Henderson shared a list of all these female state senators, remarking that they only fit on a single sheet of paper.
Despite being originally groundbreaking in women's rights, Utah has fallen to the back of the pack with little diverse representation in the Utah legislature. A great tragedy. In the past decade, new leaders from diverse backgrounds have emerged, a triumph for marginalized groups.
I am Utah State Representative Sandra Hollins. I represent District 23, which is the northwest side of Salt Lake City. So I represent the Rose Park, Fair Park, West Point, Jordan Meadows, and part of Poplar Grove area. So I'm married, have two daughters that I raised on the west side. Was elected to office in 2014, going into office in 2015. Winning my race and becoming the first African American woman in the state legislature was exciting for me. It broke down barriers, and I think representation is very important.
My name is Derek Kitchen, and I represent Senate District 2 in the Utah State Senate. And I was recently elected in November of 2018, so just a few months ago. I live in downtown Salt Lake City with my partner. In my day job, I work as an entrepreneur. We are here right now in the back of my small business. It's a restaurant where we serve Middle Eastern foods. We do come from a quite conservative state, and so me being an out gay person, a lot of people don't understand what it's like for the queer community, or what a queer person might look like or act like, or the issues that they may champion. And so for me, it's overcoming just those issues of misperception from this community.
My name is Janie Iwamoto, and I was born and raised in Utah. I practiced law in San Francisco, lived there for about 16 years. And then I moved back here to be with family, and now I'm in the Senate. When I ran that time, I found out I was the first Asian American woman to ever win office in the whole state.
The election of these lawmakers raises the question, is diverse representation in the Utah legislature important?
Because the issue of diversity in politics is super important to the state of Utah. Utah is the fastest growing state in the whole country, and we're also the youngest. And so what you're seeing that the state of Utah is diversifying very, very fast. If you take that statistic and look at our legislature and our state leaders, you'll realize that there's a discrepancy between demographics and representation.
People of color and women are underrepresented in both chambers of the legislature. In contrast, white men are overrepresented.
I do feel it's very important that we have diversity in Utah government. I think because we all come from different backgrounds and we all have different points of views. All of that is what we bring to the table, and should be at the table. And I think when you have people from different genders and different cultures and different races, I think that it brings that perspective that is heard, and I think it's something that should be heard.
I think if we reflect our constituency better, I think that we'll feel, that they're better represented and that their voices are heard. For instance, like when we do hate crimes, I get what a hate crime is. I've been, lived in California. I've seen hate crimes. I've seen different things in Utah too. growing up.
These leaders are specifically focused on creating policies to benefit the needs of the most vulnerable in their community.
I try my best to represent all residents of the district, but more importantly, those that are really disenfranchised or left out.
Highest priority in office has been the school to prison pipeline. I have a interest in how do we keep our kids, and particularly our kids of color, out of the juvenile justice system, because they're overrepresented in that system. How do we get people with criminal backgrounds back to work and making sure that they're able to support themselves?
Another triumph brought by these diverse leaders is that they serve as positive role models for groups that are historically underrepresented and are actively working to mentor future leaders from these groups.
Truly believe in mentorship, and so I find mentors and people that are older and younger than me, and I love bringing people along with me who can learn from what I'm doing and hopefully get some insight and some experience, because I know that I got into this because other people were willing to grab my hand and show me what it's like.
I had a father of two little girls, African American girls, say to me that my daughters are watching you and hoping to maybe one day go into politics now. It was pretty exciting.
A 2005 study by Amelia Showalter, a political analyst, found that when women are elected to political office, they inspire more women to run. In fact, the election of one woman as a governor or attorney general increases the percentage of women in that state's legislature in the following cycles. 2018 has been dubbed the Year of the Woman due to the influx of new female lawmakers to Congress on the national level, building off the momentum and enthusiasm from the Women's March and #MeToo movement. In the 2018 midterms, a diverse group of young women were elected to the U.S. Congress.
The Year of the Woman was also prevalent in Utah's midterms election. In total, there are 25 female members of the Utah legislature, or 24%, a historic high. Utah ranks 36th among state legislators for percentage of women.
We still have a long way to go. We don't have a lot of women who are serving in office, but we do have a lot of women who are interested and who are running for office. So I think it's only a matter of time before we see them here in the House and in the Senate. And so I think Utah is slowly starting to go that way. We've unfortunately, as women, for some reason we second guess ourselves a lot when it comes down to running for office or stepping up into leadership positions. We somehow think that we don't fit or we're not smart enough, which is not true at all. We have everything it takes to be in office.
One step being taken to promote the triumph of diversity is through House Joint Resolution 21, joint resolution reaffirming the value of women, brought by Representative Karen Kwan, the first Chinese American in the legislature. The resolution affirms that women everywhere shall have equal political rights and enjoy equally all civil, political, and religious rights and privilege. It is a step of progression towards a better representative legislature.
Although Utah can claim the election of Martha Hughes Cannon, the first female senator, as a triumph, it was followed by the tragic lack of diverse representation. Rising leaders including Sandra Hollins, Derek Kitchen, and Janie Iwamoto are creating a new period of triumph in Utah politics. Representation is significant because diverse lawmakers bring new perspectives to policy, focus on at-risk communities, and serve as role models for the next generation of political leaders.